Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading with me, Cindy. So, Taurus, this week was supposed to be this karmic cycle. It kind of sort of is, because we're always in different karmic cycles. But I got this really strong message this week that it had to be something that you need. It's what you need. This is what this message is about. It's what you really need right now. So I went with that. I'm like, okay. And so far it's been pretty good. The readings have been pretty interesting. I'm using I'm using three. I'm using two tarot decks. Oh, look at you. Look at you at the bottom of your own deck here, the beginning of your reading. Nice. This is the Tarot of Dreams. And on this one, how crazy is this? And now we have the Hierophant. Look at you. All in your own energy here on both these decks. This is the Starman Tarot, inspired by David Bowie. Cool. That's kind of cool that you're at the bottom like that. And then I am going to delve into the Moonology deck, Oracle deck at the end. So I am doing a singing bowl at the beginning, because I thought, the last time I did the singing bowl, I did it at the end. And if anyone doesn't stick through the whole video, it can happen, they miss it. They miss this beautiful clearing of energy. So there you go. That was your singing bowl. All right. So, Taurus, I did like it just a quiet little... Sorry, it was a thing all peaceful and I just got back into it again. Full of Aries and Gemini energy, so here I am. So, before turning on the camera, I did like a little meditation. I was shuffling the cards, pre-shuffling, and kind of asking just directly so I could start the reading with a message is what does Taurus need right now? Does Taurus need right now? And the two cards that came out, they're buried again because I shuffled. They're not. It was the Palace of Swords and the Ten of Swords. And so here's the thing. Like, I am reading off what the tarot is, what the basis is of that for this reading. But I have made a note to my spirit guides, to the universe, that I'm going a lot off of the visual information in the decks. That's why I picked two very visually stimulating, full of information cards. So what I got was, it's time to get off. You need to get off this merry-go-round of intense thoughts. This merry-go-round of, like at some points it looked like positive thinking, where maybe you shouldn't be applying positive thinking. Maybe you should be a little more realistic and analytical. And then also, in areas where you're being too analytical and too realistic, you should maybe put a little bit of more fun and creative thinking in that. It was like this merry-go-round of thinking. It's like, oh, you gotta end that. Shove those Ten of Swords in and end it. Is kind of the message that first came through with a little meditation before I turn on the camera. So I feel like your energy is well and strong in these decks to start. So let's get started, Taurus. Did I say tortoise or Taurus? So funny. Oh my gosh, I think I said tortoise. I don't know, I can't play this back because it's live for me, but I guess I said tortoise. I'm sorry. I love you guys. But slow and steady wins the race, and that is sort of Taurus-y. Tortoises live a really long time, too. They live a really long time. Okay, Taurus. What do we got coming out here? The Palace of Wands. Oh, what you need. See? Maybe you need to stop thinking so much and start feeling. Interesting. Oh, isn't that interesting how that came out in the Palace of Swords? Was the whole merry-go-round of these thoughts that, yeah, you need to get that crap out of there. So let's see if we get any more cards out of this deck for this Palace of Wands, it's a lot of cards. Oh, you know, that's too many. Damn, it is a lot. There's a lot. There's about 10 cards here. Okay. Maybe I'll pick up a lot, but that's just too many. That's just too many, Taurus. Too many. Let's try this again. Palace of Wands. Anything for Taurus. Simplify it. That's okay. That's good. Okay, 2 cards is good. 2. Oh, look. And now we have swords again. There's our story, huh? Now we have swords again. So now you have the Knight of Swords and the 3 of Swords. Oh boy. What is going on here? What you need, Taurus? What you need? I'm going to show you all 3 of these. Kind of in the order that they're sitting with each other too. Taurus, what you need here. Well, it seems like what you need to be doing is not thinking so much, but doing stuff. Because this Knight of Swords is more about taking action on thoughts and moving swiftly towards something, you know, as opposed to the Palace of Swords with the 10 of Swords it was too much going on, that whole merry-go-round of thinking. It's taking action. Now, this Knight of Swords is running away from the 3 of Swords. This Knight of Swords is running away from the 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords is often, well, it really is, it's a depiction of some sort of heartbreak. Now, in this deck, it's a little bit different for me. This person, you can see she has all these wonderful jewels and everything on. She's got the fancy outfit. She's covering her heart. She's not allowing it to get hurt. She's, if I remember, the message with this card specifically is one who may surround themselves with physical niceties. So, you know, the jewels, the nice outfits, many things. And in doing this, they're trying to protect themselves from something painful, something that hurt them or could hurt them, or something that has hurt them. And she has like this one eye is tearing up, but the other is not. It's almost like trying to run away from this and trying to force yourself into this Palace of Wands, which is a lot of passion and desire and creativity. It's a very warm place. It is a very warm place, and perhaps you do need to run to that right now. But we do know this at some point will need to be addressed. It will need to be addressed, but perhaps right now at this time, it is correct for you to run towards this warmth. What that warmth is for you. Playfulness. I'm getting playfulness. This is a warmth with a playful attitude. Being out, being outside. It's strange. It's almost like there's a block on it. Like there's some sort of, there's something trying to come through, but it's being blocked. I'm going to go, wait, let me see what's at the bottom, because I'm going to go to the Starman Tarot. We have the 8 of Wands at the bottom. So movement, communication. And I'm feeling like you are trying to move to this Palace of Wands. But I'm getting just like outdoors. It's so much more than that though, but it's not coming in. Fun. But in what form is that to come to you? Are you to go to it? Because this is a pretty big extreme. Like this is, you know, somebody's really hurt, really disappointed. Something didn't work out. And this Knight wanting to run away from that to the Palace of Wands. My deeper self is saying, I don't think this is a good idea. Like, I think maybe that's why it's being blocked. Maybe that's kind of it, right? Like, I almost feel like I'm trying to, yeah, you know what? This looks better. Why don't you go there? So I'm thinking, like, just go there, Taurus. It looks better. It looks nicer. It looks friendlier. It looks warmer than this. That's the block. You can't go there. You can't find it. There we go. You can't, because I can't read. I can't get into it. You can't find the Palace of Wands right now. You can't find the Palace of Wands in this energy of the Three of Swords. So you can't. You're trying to go there, but it's not working. It's not working. Because I think we have to go back to the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. I know I don't like that one either, but... Okay, let's see what starts coming out with the Starman Tarot. This one, these cards are usually full of insane amounts of information. Now, remember, bottom of both decks was your energy. King of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Now, none of the cards that have been coming out have been your energy. Like, the ones that came out before I turned the camera on were swords. The ones that are out now, we have wands and we have swords. Again, there's no grounded energy here. There's no grounded energy. There's no tortoise. Maybe there's a reason I said tortoise. Because the tortoise is so damn grounded, man. That thing can't even jump. He's not jumping. He's just... But moving at a pace that the tortoise isn't missing anything. Not at all. He's actually probably observing more than most of us are observing that tortoise. And the tortoise and the hare, you think about that. That race between the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise actually won because the hare was just like so fast and so busy. Instead of like, you know, making that your goal and just getting to there, you know, having to be distracted. Because the hare was distracted at many different points in that race and showing off and doing all sorts of silly things. Not looking at what the goal was. Yeah, what is the goal? If the goal is get to this happy, warm place, if the goal is to get to this happy, warm place, see, we need to put away, the need for you is to put away the merry-go-round of thinking. And that merry-go-round to thinking for me in the card, I'm going to find it in this deck. I'm going to find this card because, you know, even though it came out in the pre-shuffle, it still seems very significant because it's still coming through with all these swords, and then you got another palace, but it's the Palace of Wands. And the merry-go-round of thinking was, as I said earlier, it seemed like trying to put a positive spin on something that was negative, but you needed to really look at it for what it was. And trying to put, not trying, but just maybe unintentionally or subconsciously, putting negative thoughts into what would actually be positive things for you. Where the heck is it? Of course, it's going to be at the almost at the bottom. So here's this Palace of Swords. And looking at it, focusing, hope it's focusing. It really reminded me of like a merry-go-round. At the top one that was like a merry-go-round, and then this bottom one is like a merry-go-round. It was like this whole fair. I could just see this whole fair and all this music playing, different, you know, like when you go to one of those places, it's just chaotic. There's a music playing at that merry-go-round, and there's music playing at that game, and there's music playing at that ride. It's just like, that's what it was like. And I thought, yeah, but wait a second, it's almost, I'm just getting this juxtaposition of not looking, and then that's just what this Knight to me is doing, is running from here to here. Wait a second. You actually can't get there without addressing this. That's the thing. That's the thing. So I've learned that. You can't get there without addressing that. And that's kind of the dark side. That's the shadow, the pain. It's just going to stick with you. That shit will really stick with you. It'll stick with you, and it could stick with you for years. if you don't address it. And it will keep you on this merry-go-round of thinking or thought process until you do address it. Like you overthink situations, but in the wrong way. You might see negative possibilities where there's really no real possibility that that's going to go that way. And maybe be so hopeful for things that truly aren't actually intended for you. You know, so hopeful for that, but it's not even actually intended for you. So it's become negative. Or it's actually, no, you've made it a positive thing when it's actually kind of probably a negative thing in your life that you should maybe avoid. So let's see what the Starman Tarot has to come out on this. One has come out. Two. The Ten of Swords in this deck has come out. Oh yeah. Ooh, and the Empress. Oh my goodness. When she speaks, everyone listens. All right, but this is going to be big. About the Empress was the first card that came out. So I'll show it to you first. Wow. Okay, sorry. I'm just fascinated by the artwork. It just pulls me in. The Empress, this is the first one that flew out all on its own, and then I continued shuffling. And then the Ten of Swords in this deck has come out. So you are really, there's really like, something needs to end here. It feels an awful lot like the thought process. The thought process that brought you to this point is almost the thought process that on a subconscious level you're continuing to utilize. But why wouldn't we? It's what we've always done. Like, unless someone points it out to you and says, oh, do you know what? You're doing the same things you were doing over there. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks. I wasn't really observing myself. You know, it's like watching a kid try to learn how to ride a bike or something. And they keep making the same mistake over and over again, but they don't really realize it because they don't realize the action that they're doing. It's almost, you know, maybe it's become a sequence of little events for them, and it always ends in failure. So then you finally point out to them, you know, maybe you should get a little bit further, or you should go down a hill a tiny bit and then take your feet off. Don't pedal yet. Just take your feet out and glide. You know, you're just introducing something different to someone who is not seeing what they're doing to themselves. Which is, I guess, what spirit guides do, isn't it? That's what these readings are for. They're totally for that. The Empress. Wow. What the heck is going on here? There's a bird cage above her head that is completely empty. She has this unusual pipe coming out of her throat. It's just like making electricity through the unspoken word. Oh, through the unspoken word, which is interesting. Because the unspoken word is thoughts, right? The unspoken words would be thoughts. And she does have milk coming out of the mammary glands. She is the Empress, so she's very motherly, very nurturing, very creative energy. She is the embodiment of fertility, really, and she is there's a lot of depiction of that in here. Interesting, because now, so that's the Empress. And then this is two, look at, these are two depiction of two masculine energies. And there's this fight, this ending. But, you know, it does remind you of the Michelangelo painting a bit. To me, it does anyways. Where, you know, God touches the finger of Adam to give him life, to give him consciousness. And the one, yeah, there's this ending here. It's ending of the ending of an aspect of your divine masculine energy to become more nurturing and more creative and more abundant through divine feminine energy. And which is so interesting because, you know, this, in the background of this image is the face of David Bowie. And I would say David Bowie would be one of those faces that, depending on the hair or whatever he was doing, he could be seen as masculine or feminine. He could easily be seen as masculine or feminine. So it is about, to me, bringing in this balance of your nurturing, protective side, like the masculine and the feminine energies within you here. The masculine energy, I want to guess, has been too strong in you. And it's caused something here. It's caused something that has hurt. And you're almost trying to drive yourself towards this passionate, creative palace with this Palace of Wands. However, the feminine energy within you has been hurt. It's trying to protect from this. This is a very interesting message. It's trying to protect itself almost from what you've thought of or done in the past in relationships has come back to hurt you. And it's come back to hurt you because of the masculine energy. Because of the way you're utilizing your masculine energy. You're being asked to go into this Empress energy, but you can't run towards the Palace of Wands until you've healed the feminine energy that's been damaged by the masculine energy within you. So I know some people will be like, I don't understand, Cindy, so I'm going to try to... Okay, the easiest way for me to describe this, like in a scenario, is, let's say the masculine energy within you. Let's put this in a relationship because it's the Three of Swords. It's just the easiest way for me to do it than like work or something like that. So let's put it in a relationship. So when approaching relationships, approaching a little bit more from the ego and a little bit more aggressively, like a little bit more aggressively, or trying to dominate the situation, or trying to dominate it a bit. I don't want to use too many like negative connotations though, because divine masculine energy isn't negative. Any one of the two energies can be negative the way they're utilized, but because it feels like this hasn't been utilized to the best benefit of you, it's going to come out sounding negative. So it's usually a very protective, very championing energy. Like it's there for reasons there to protect the protective aspect within yourself, championing others, but it's almost like it was reversed and you were championing perhaps yourself and protecting yourself when moving into relationships. And through that, it damaged the nurturing aspect of you. It hurt, it wounded the feminine, the nurturing, the the feminine is clearly damaged here, isn't she not? And this is inside you. And you can't get to the Palace of Wands until the Empress, in a sense, has been healed. And it's interesting because there's two little fetuses up in the air, and they're both shooting this electricity towards above the Empress's head. You could maybe say it's like the masculine and the feminine. The balance of that becoming Empress energy is what, will happen here. I haven't somebody always does this to me. I have no plan to pull out clarifiers, and I get to like somebody's sign. So pull out clarifiers. I really need to pull out clarifiers on this masculine energy within you or around you. Now, here's the other thing. It may not necessarily be the masculine. This is going to play out in different ways. For some of you, I think it is. The masculine energy within you has been overly protective of you, approaching relationships. And that has come through as maybe being, I want to say maybe being a smartass. Maybe being, controlling in the relationships, needing it to go a certain way in a, you know, in the direction you want it to go, or how you think it should flow, or who should call who, or who should text who, or any of that. That control aspect, that protection, it's overprotection that is not allowed, almost like feelings and emotions to be part of relationship governing here. And some of you may have been hurt by masculine energy in the past that has functioned like this with and for you in relationships, and it has damaged the feminine. So you can't move to this Palace of Wands until this Three of Swords energy is healed. And the Empress is asking you to do that at this time. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. You need to heal the Empress energy within you. So, you know, I'm going to ask about that. Healing this Empress energy. How can Taurus heal this Empress energy? How can Taurus heal this Empress energy? Wow. My gosh. Yeah, you got to go on a spiritual journey here, my friend. So we have the Justice card, the Eight of Cups, and the Hierophant. The Justice card, the Eight of Cups, and the Hierophant. You can't go into you. You can't go into your energy. You can't be who you truly are. Who you are meant to be until this balance is corrected. And to do that, you need to go on the journey. You can't rush into this Palace of Wands. You need to pull away from the Palace of Wands. You need to pull away from the palaces. You need to pull away and look within. Look within what is causing this Three of Swords. What's causing this Three of Swords? How did that happen? Why did it happen? Why is it happening? Is it something I wanted? Is it something I allowed the masculine energy to control instead of the feminine energy? Well, the feminine energy shouldn't control it either. Like, you need a balance, right? Like, you do need to be smart enough to protect yourself in any relationship so that you're not taken advantage of. But you also have to have some faith and allow your love and your feelings to come out. Otherwise, it's not good. It's not balanced. It is not an easy road, my friend, is it? It's not an easy road. But the feminine energy, the Empress energy that would like to exist within you is saying that this balance can only be achieved through like a journey and just thinking about, what do you really want? What makes you really happy? What do you need to move away from here? And you can't move away from the Three of Swords. Healing the Three of Swords you can do. And then once that's done, you can move beyond that. But to heal it, you need to journey it. You need to journey that. And then you do get the Hierophant energy. That, you know, and that's that deeper spiritual connection and commitment to yourself and those around you. What an interesting reading. I'm going to go to the Moonology deck now. And see what we get. Final final message for Taurus in this very interesting reading. Final message for Taurus. I'm telling you, the Sagittarius energy has been coming through like crazy in this deck so far this week. Look at the big picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Isn't that interesting? Look at the big picture. And I want to say look at it from both your masculine and feminine energies. Look at it in terms of protection, nurturing, love, control. Those. I mean, and I'm not saying that masculine, like look at the tarot. The kings are all about control. And the queens are all about expressing what it is that they have. So the masculine is about it's about the control, releasing the control too. Look at the bigger picture. And that will get you on point, I feel, with this bow and arrow. And that will get you on point, on track, on target. There you go, Taurus. That was a very interesting reading, my friends. Thank you. Thank you for that reading, guys. Until next week, until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.